the intermittent fasting part of choosing plants. I am actually doing a recipe video for you guys today that I will be eating as part of my intermittent fasting challenge. The only thing that has to do with anything is that it's plant-based. It has nothing to do with the intermittent fasting, except that I'll eat it during my 8-hour window of eating. So this recipe is called cauliflower stuffing, and I actually made a version of this that was boy-friendly, meaning that my boys that can't eat salicylates could actually eat it. So it didn't have onions in it. Actually, they could eat onions, except one's allergic to them. Anyway, totally off track. It didn't have carrots in it. It didn't have like the spices in it that they can't have. So anyway, I'm making it again in a just a plain vegan-friendly version of it. And this recipe comes from delish.com, and that website is not vegan. I'm pretty sure they're not vegan. However, this is a really cool recipe. It is low carb, which I don't particularly care about that at all, to be honest with you. So there are some ingredients in here that you would use more for a low carb type diet, like butter, that kind of thing, and I don't do that. So anyway, recipe, I'm not going to tell you what it originally called for. If you want to go look it up, it's at delish.com. It's called the Best Cauliflower Stuffing. You can go look it up. It's a great recipe. At least the version that I made for the boys tasted wonderful, I thought. So what I'm going to do is I've chopped up an onion, or about 3/4 of an onion. I've got totally cheated. It says 2 large carrots. I just buy grated carrots and chop them a little bit finer. So it's just super easy. Then 2 celery stalks chopped and thinly sliced. And instead of a head of cauliflower, you guys know me, cauliflower rice all the way. And I probably will actually use this entire big huge container. This would be a good amount of food, and I might serve it over rice like I did with my last set that I made for the boys. It was really good over rice. I really enjoyed that. So then I also have some chopped up mushrooms, and it calls for salt, pepper, parsley, rosemary, sage, and some veggie broth. So I chopped up a little bit of fresh parsley. I actually don't like parsley, so I really did it just for the greenery effect, not for the flavor effect at all. And I don't have fresh sage. I don't have fresh rosemary. I'm using stuff from a Container Spices, so whatever, you know. So I'm going to show you what it is that I've already chopped up, and then I'm going to go over and start the process of cooking. What you do is you cook the onion, the carrot, and the celery first, and you get those nice and cooked. So we're talking like it says 7 to 8 minutes, and that actually, it's not what I did last time, but that totally makes sense. And then you add the cauliflower, the mushrooms, salt and pepper, which I won't do either. I don't feel the need to add the salt because I'm going to add some bouillon to make the chicken broth, and it's got, or the veggie broth, and that's got plenty of salt in it. And we don't have any black pepper. We have black pepper kernels, but our little black pepper grinder is no longer with us. So, yeah. So then you cook it for another 8 to 10 minutes. Then you add your spices, and you add the vegetable broth, cover it with a lid, and let it cook for 15 minutes. So this actually takes about a half an hour to cook. So we're gonna get started right now. But I'm gonna show you guys exactly what it is that we got going on for ingredients, because they look beautiful just sitting on my cutting board for real. So here we go. So here is our bag of cauliflower. We've got our chopped up carrots and our chopped up onion, the mushrooms, a little teeny tiny pile of parsley that I have. There is the celery, and I probably would have put in a little bit more celery if it was just me that was eating it, but I'm imagining my husband's going to join me in this, and he's not a huge celery fan. So a little bit minor amounts of celery is good. There's our rosemary, the sage, and the no chicken base. So I'm gonna get this stuff started. You know, this recipe doesn't call for any garlic. Huh. I don't know if I ever make anything without garlic, but I guess we'll give it a shot. Alrighty, so here we go. We're gonna go cook, and the first things that you cook are the carrots, the onions, and the celery. So let's go get that started. Okay guys, so one thing that I know probably a lot of people will question or think about is that it does say in the recipe to cook with butter, and it is just so not necessary to use oil with your vegetables. So the carrots, if you were just to put those in there, yeah, they might stick and burn pretty easily, but the celery and the onions are very, very liquidy vegetables. I put about 1/8 of a cup of water in the bottom of this, and it is going to saute these vegetables beautifully with no oil, no butter for sure. Now, I get it, the butter adds a nice flavor to it, and I actually agree with you. It does add a nice fatty flavor to the vegetables, but it's absolutely empty calories and saturated fat that you just don't need. So I'm going to continue to let this cook. I just wanted to show you guys that you can definitely saute a vegetable and do a water saute. And to be honest with you, if the carrots hadn't been in there, I would have just put the celery and the onions and the mushrooms together and probably not added any water at all, because they're all 3 watery vegetables and water will come out of them as they cook. You really don't need to add much water at all, if any. But because of the carrots and they're so dry, I did add a little bit of water. But I just wanted to show you that and share that information with you, and I'm going to continue cooking. Alrighty guys, I just wanted to show you where I was at. I just put in the cauliflower and the mushrooms and added the spices. I haven't added the parsley yet. I need to get that in there. I am going to change the order of directions a wee bit. I don't feel the need to cook this for a very long time and then put the lid on it and cook it for a very long time. I'm just going to skip step 2 and put the mix all the spices in right now and put the veggie broth on it, except I'm going to put a cup of veggie broth rather than half a cup of veggie broth. And I'm going to put the parsley in, and I'm going to let it cook for 15 minutes. And I will show you the end result when we get there. Alrighty guys, so here is the completed end product. It's a little bit juicier in there because I added more water, which is fine. I'm going to serve it over rice, so that will not be an issue at all. It's a little bit too mushy, and I cooked it for 12 minutes with the lid on. I think that if I had cooked it either with the lid off or for about probably 8 minutes, it wouldn't be quite so mushy, so keep that in mind. And that is not a product of the recipe at all. That is a product of my version of cooking, so keep that in mind as well. It tastes fine though. It tastes very good. The picture obviously that I'm putting on here for you to see has parsley to decorate and some rice under it. And otherwise, it's one thing I might change after trying it is potentially adding a little bit more garlic. Didn't add any garlic. I would consider adding some garlic powder to it. It probably would make it taste very good. And some black pepper, seeing as I don't have any to add to it. So, there is some cauliflower stuffing, and I am going to be taking that with me to eat tonight. And that is the recipe video, guys. So I hope that you try this, and if you enjoy it, let me know in the comments below. If you try this and you don't enjoy it, let me know in the comments below. Either way, just let me know what you think, and we will talk to you guys again later.